Alright folks, welcome back. Day 2. I just started the fire about half an hour ago. It's about 10 o'clock right now in the morning. You can see we're just starting to steam here, evaporate. I emptied out that 5-gallon pail that I had here and there. And I went out to the woods this morning and the pail was running over again. So between 5 gallons last night at 10 o'clock and 5 gallons this morning, I was back up to 10, and it's down just a little bit because I've added some to the evaporator. There's a sap pan, and then I have another, obviously, half a gallon in that pan warming up. So once this all gets rolling, I don't kill my boil by putting cold sap in there. So this is warming up. So today isn't going to be very fun because the wind is blowing really hard outside, and it's trying to push the smoke back down my chimney. So yeah, I even have the chimney cap bent to try and block the wind from blowing in and out of the east. It's always the east wind that causes me issues with this, so it's still kind of being a pain. So I'm running the fan today, if you guys can hear it running, and then I plugged those holes of insulation so it wouldn't blow as much smoke back at me. And we've got that fan running high and the door wide open in here. So this is the start of day 2. So we should be right around 55 gallons of sap that we've collected so far. The trees were running a little bit when I was out there when I collected that sap, but they're not running very fast. So I will probably run back out there around noonish after I get everybody fed. You can still see that there's still smoke coming in here, but not near as bad as when I had those holes unplugged. It really burns the eyes when it gets really smoky in here. So I know a buddy of mine, D. Phillips 705, he's talking about building a shack for doing this type of thing, and my advice to you is try and make it so you can open up the sides. I know you're talking 16 by 16. Try and make it so you got some decent sized doors on all 4 walls if you could, so you could open up the doors to get smoke out or whatever. I know you're talking about turkey fryer this year, but if you ever get to where you're going to use a wood stove or whatever, sometimes it's nice to have a lot of ventilation. So, or a very high ceiling with exhaust fans in it. But like I say, this is the start of day 2. We'll see what happens today. And it was raining this morning a little bit, so they're talking thunderstorms and really strong winds, possibly severe weather in the southern part of Wisconsin. So I don't know how today is going to go, but I believe tonight is supposed to get down below freezing. So the rest of the week it looks like the sap should be running, and hopefully it's going to be one of those things where, you know, we're down below freezing at night, and then around 10-11 o'clock the sap starts flowing, so it's not running all night long. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll keep you guys updated as we go along here. Alright guys, so we're still boiling away. I'm down to about 3 gallons in the tank there. And I've got this half a gallon about right there warming up. It's almost ready to go in there, but I'm gonna let this boil for a little while longer before I add that to it. But I took a piece of steel. I have a cover piece of steel that I put over this hole here. I used to have a window in there back when this was my shop, and then I covered with a piece of steel, but I took it off so the wind could blow in here. That is east, and the wind is really howling out of the east right now, so there's a really nice breeze blowing through here. There's about 90 in here, and being my stove leaks so bad, I took that down so it blow the smoke out the front door. Now it's not as bad in here. I can keep the stove cranking pretty good. So yeah, we're getting down there. Sap's not really running much today. I need to run back up there here in a little bit just to double check it, but it never really got down below 40 last night, so we're not really getting sap flow today. So I'm just going to boil this stuff down and then put it in a couple apple cider jugs, bring it in the house, put it in the fridge, and depending on what the weather is like tomorrow, maybe we'll finish it on the stove in the house. I've been thinking about doing it on the grill, on the side burner on the grill, but it's nice in the house, so who knows, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I had some questions about how often I take this out of here and bring it in the house. It all depends on how the sap is running and everything, and how the boiling is going. My boiling is going a little slow this year because I really don't have much dry wood. So like I say, it's going slow. And being the sap is slowing down right now, I will empty this by the end of the day and bring it in the house and finish it. But if the sap is flowing good and we're burning good, about every 2 to 3 days, about what I figure is enough to make somewhere between 1 gallon to 2 gallons of syrup when I'm done. It just fits in my stock pots good in the house for finishing it. So that's about how often I do it. So the more the sap is running, the more we're boiling, the more often I'll change it. So, or like now, if the sap was still running good, I wouldn't empty it today. I'd keep going, but it's slow. And right now, I am 1 county away from a tornado warning. All of the Twin Cities is in a big tornado warning. Hail, strong winds. So 1 county to my west is in it, and now it looks like the county below ours is in it. And 1 county to our west and north of them is in it, which is not far from the cabins. So hopefully it doesn't turn into anything. But anyhow, we're still boiling away. Almost done with what I have for straight sap. So once I get the rest of this stuff in there, I'll go up and check the trees again, and I'll grab another load of popple or maple trees that I have blocked up in the woods. I can bring back here, cut them into smaller pieces, split them, and have them ready for the next go around. So this stuff over here is all wet oak, and some of it is, there's some cherry in there I brought in from my woods that are really, really dry, but they are really, really hard. Like this one here, it's just a little punky on the outside, these ones, but you cannot hardly split that stuff. It is tough. So basically what I'm doing is, you can see I've got some maple here that I grabbed up in the woods when I went up there last time. I cut, like that I'll cut in half, that I'll end up cutting in half, I'm sure. Maybe I'll try and split it like that. But I cut them up into smaller pieces, like these ones down here, so I can just feed smaller pieces in there as needed. That's how I do it. But there was some other comments, questions, whatever too, and I wanted to throw this out there for my buddy Darren. You're talking about turkey fryers and stuff. What you could do, being you're going to build a little shack, a little sugar shack, I've seen a lot of guys do it where they just use cement or cinder blocks like that. They lay them on their sides, and you build your evaporator with that, and then just fill them with sand in between them. And then just set your pan right on top, and then just find a piece of steel you can put on the end for a door. Keep filling your logs in there. If you want to get really creative, just make a little grate for the bottom. The fire can be on, the ash can fall down underneath it. That's an idea too. That would be cheap, you know, and quick. If I had it my way, and if I could build a sugar shack out by the woods, right by the trees, that's probably what I would do. Just put a bunch of gravel down for the floor in there, and then build something out of cement blocks. Heck of a lot cheaper. But that's just another idea. So But this is the way it's going today. It's really hard to keep a good fire going. The wind is blowing so hard out there. But we battle through the struggles, right? And yes, the more concentrate that gets, the sweeter it smells in here. I'm sure you all can imagine. Well guys, this is a first for me. Boiling down sap in a thunderstorm. I just walked out the door from eating supper and heard the sirens blowing in town. So I'm assuming we are under a severe thunderstorm warning. I know the county to the west of us, all the way over around the Twin Cities, has been on a tornado watch warning whatever all day until 10 o'clock tonight. And as you can see, it looks like the storm is about here. Of course, now that I start recording, the lightning's not going to be as crazy as it was a minute ago. So yeah, that's a first for me. Crazy weather. You know, a week ago when it was in the 40s and 50s, 60s one day, we got a bunch of rain and the ground actually firmed up, and we got all that snow. And we must have got frost in the ground again, because now it is just soupy everywhere. I'm even having a hard time getting the gator out to the woods. So hopefully this thunderstorm will knock the frost back out of the ground and the ground will firm up again, hopefully. So yeah, it's just crazy. Tornado warning all day or whatever, and now we got a thunderstorm. While I'm boiling down sap. This tank is now empty. The 5-gallon bucket was full this morning. I've emptied it 2 more times. There was 3 gallons in the 5-gallon pail both times, so another 6 gallons. This is now empty. I have to that's the last little bit here. This is ready to be dumped in there. I just haven't been in a big hurry because I've been getting some really good boils going, and I'm just kind of waiting. It is just lightly boiling right now. I just came back out of the house from eating supper. When I go in the house, I turn the fan off and I close the door, and it kind of chokes it down a little bit, but at least it still keeps evaporating a little bit. And now, of course, when I went in the house, I put a couple bigger chunks like these in there, and these are wet. So now it's fighting to get these burning. But I've been breaking up my drier pieces into smaller parts like that. They get burning really, really fast and really hot. So that's what I've been doing. We're getting right down there. It's still up, I'm guessing 5 inches, but that's still going to be another hour and a half worth of boiling, and then I will kind of just let it peter out a little bit so it's not boiling as fast, and then I will get a big stock pot, like one of these bigger ones. You know, we've got some in there that must hold 3 or 4 gallons. I'll grab one of those and I'll empty this out in there, and I'll bring it in the house and put it in the fridge for the night. And then probably finish cooking that down in the morning, depending on what the weather is like tomorrow. So that's what it's looking like right now. What I do is I spend a lot of time sitting here putting piece by piece of wood in here. You don't want to overfeed it, because then it actually gets too much wood in there, and then it's like it doesn't burn quite as good. But these smaller pieces, you know, every so often throw one in there. That one was a little damp yet, but so that's pretty much what I do all day long. Sit here and snack on things that are unhealthy for me. drink things that are unhealthy for me and sit on my butt. So, and then like I say, when I go out to the woods or whatever, I close the door, I turn the fan off, and then I just kind of let it cook on its own slow. That way it doesn't, I don't have to worry about it. But there's some big chunks in the bottom yet that are kind of slowing the fire down. Otherwise, it looks like a inferno when it really gets rolling with the smaller stuff. So yeah, that's what it's looking like on day number 2. So we're getting close, right around 60 gallons of sap collected and boiled down. By the time I am done tonight, it'll be all boiled down, for the most part. I'll have to, boil down probably another gallon off of it in the house. But 60 gallons of sap should be about a gallon and a half of syrup. So, and I don't like to get it too low in here because it can scorch really easily. So I finish it in the house, and who knows, what I might do is I might just leave it out here tonight and then cover it with my towel again, get it all covered back up, and then tomorrow morning just throw a handful of coals in here from the other stove, basically just to warm it up enough that it kind of flows easy out of here. The warmer it is, the faster it flows out. Just enough to warm it up, and then we'll see what we've got. And what I might do is I might run it out, fill a stock pot, see how much is there. So I don't know what happened to my camera, quit recording. But it is now pouring down rain, thundering like crazy, lightning. So with how hard it was coming down just a minute ago, I would venture to guess that our soil moisture is doing pretty good right now. Crazy, crazy, crazy weather. Anyways, that's a little update from day 2 of boiling down sap. So once I get to where I am finishing it, I will make more videos of that for you guys too, in case there's anybody out there that's never done it and wants to do it for themselves. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.